Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, my name is James. I did a test run of this last night. I wasn't too happy with it, so we're going to do this one more time. This is the introduction to the wonderful world of a new computer. One thing to note on this, this is basically a virtual machine, so it's got a very clean version of Windows installed. If you go out and buy a brand new computer from Best Buy, Tiger Direct, or anywhere else that you'd buy a computer, especially if it's from a manufacturer like Toshiba or Samsung or Sony or any of them, they're going to come preloaded with a lot of bloatware. This is not going to cover that. I'll show you how to get to add remove programs to pull those off. There's no way I can really put a pre-installed image of another computer on here, unfortunately. That's not how this works. The computer I'm using, the virtual machine as it were, is a basic, simple, modern day computer. It's a dual core. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. It's actually probably very low end compared to modern day standards. No matter what you buy, though, this is really going to be some of the first things that you see. A couple of things that this will not have is OEM license agreements, which will be in this setup screen that we're seeing here right now. So just go ahead and scroll through those. Windows has its own, and then I know I just set up a Lenovo. They had a couple different things. They'll have you activate their own proprietary virus protection, whatever company has been sponsoring them. One of the things you want to do after we get through this is go through and remove that virus protection. You're not going to need it. A lot of people are going to give me crap for this, but the built-in Microsoft Windows Defender, especially in Windows 10 and Windows 8, is super, super powerful. Okay, it's not super powerful. For any entry-level user, it's more than enough. Don't go wasting your money on a high-end antivirus that you're not going to know how to use. A lot of antiviruses out there have a lot of whistles and bells and all kinds of features. You don't need all those. Almost everything you need is baked into Windows. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, especially my techie friends. But in my own personal experience, and not just mine, but seeing other people use computers, their computers tend to run better and run happier when you're using as few third-party programs as you can, just like your phone does. If you notice, Samsung phones usually have a tendency to slug down because they have all that extra bloatware thrown in there. LG does too. Buying a new computer these days is just like buying a phone has been for the past 3 or 4 years. It's one operating system with a couple of extra bells and whistles thrown in. My top brands, if you're wondering, are Asus and Lenovo. I love them right now. They're fantastic. I'm not an HP fan. Probably never will be. And that's pretty much where I lie. Anybody else, toss up. If you're on a budget, just grab something. But this is the opening startup screen for Windows 10. First time you buy the computer and fire it up, you're going to get something that looks like this. Now, this you might also be greeted by whatever the proprietary login is or license agreements and blah, blah, blah. But this is the general consensus. So, first things first, where's your home country? Where's your preferred app language? These are all pretty much all good. The one thing you're going to want to change if you're in the East Coast is your time zone. If you're in the Central time zone, blah, 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 forward on. So we're going to change mine to Eastern time. But James, this is so common sense. Yes, you'd be surprised. All right, so the next thing it's going to do is one of those license agreements. This is Microsoft's. Basically saying you're going to use our software anyway, so you might as well click accept, unless you're going to wipe the computer and install Linux or something crazy or try to Hackintosh your computer. Don't try that. That's a bad idea. Yep, just scroll down, click accept, boom, done. Now, last time I tried to record this, found a couple of new settings that I actually like. With the latest versions of Windows 10, they've added in a few other different features. So you can just get going by using Express settings, and we're going to go over a couple of these settings that they're going to preset here real quick. So if you just want to get rocking, get going, using Express settings is pretty safe. For me, it is. A lot of my security nut friends are going to go, oh, well, you got to change this, and we're going to cover that right now. So right now, I'm going to click on Customize Settings right here. And I'm going to leave this stuff on. I like the personalization. I like how Cortana, which we'll go over here in a second, learns how I search and learns what I want to search for. I really don't care about the suggestion and recognition platform because I don't use predictive text or anything like that. And if I am using anything that has the ability to advertise targeted towards me, I might as well leave that on. Turn those off however you feel. I leave everything on usually. I left the location on, especially for my laptop. Desktop, it really doesn't matter because you're always in the same spot. But if you're going to Google and searching for movies, it'll use that. It'll use your location to see, okay, you're in Muskegon. Boom, skip a step. Here you go. We know where you're at. So, or wherever you're living, if you're watching this, if you're in California, whatever. All right, so there's some other ones here. The smart screen I always leave on, but I never use Internet Explorer. Or now it's called Edge. So this really doesn't affect us, and this isn't going to affect us in this setup because we're not going to use Edge except for one thing. Yet again, for the prediction. Now the next settings are big. These are ones that I don't leave this one on. The automatically connect to suggested open hotspots. Now, in previous versions of Windows, this feature wasn't there. So if you went to a place that had an open hotspot that was unsecured, no password, you can just click connect and go online, this would find one of those and connect. The big problem with that is those networks are completely unsecure. So they're going to connect to you, or you're going to connect to them, and then anybody else on that network, unless your security is locked down, which we'll probably go over in a different video, is you're open to them. So if anybody like myself knows what they're doing, they can access the computers on that network. So unless you trust the network, don't connect to it. Unless you know you're connecting to it, don't connect to it. So I'm going to turn that off. This other feature is another new one, and they've caught a lot of hell for. This one is if you use your Microsoft contacts, if you use Outlook, if you use their built-in contact thing like your phone has, it's going to share those contacts. It's going to share with those contacts your Wi-Fi, the ones that you've connected to. So let's say I do go to Starbucks and they have a password. I don't know if they do. I've been to Starbucks like twice in my life. Once I connect, any of my friends that are on my contact list that also have me in their contact list will go to Starbucks and bam, they'll connect. They don't need the password. They don't need anything like that. Where this is also big is if you have somebody come over. Yet again, you have to have them in your contacts list. If they come over to your house, they fire up their laptop, bam, they're connected. I think this also applies to Windows Phone as well. So this is kind of nice. It saves the hassle of, hey, what's your Wi-Fi password? And then if you're like me, you've got capitals and lower cases and numbers and everything in it. So, and they also don't have to log into the Xfinity Wi-Fi or whatever Charter has if they have their own version of that. So I leave this on. I don't use the Contacts app anyway, so it really doesn't affect me. It might affect you, especially if you're a Windows Phone user. And then the send error and diagnostic information back to Microsoft. I don't care if they know what I'm doing. It's all metadata. Metadata is just massive amounts of data that's you're anonymized, and then sent out to them so they can analyze it to see what's going on with the certain types of hardware so they can make Microsoft updates better for you and the other people like you. Turn it off if you're paranoid. Don't care. So we're going to click next. And now it's going to restart and grab an update. So, yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Got one more update. Had to restart. If your computer did, go ahead and let it do that. If it didn't, then you're probably going to be sitting here. I'm running Windows 10 Pro on this, so usually this will just go right into the login screen. It'll ask you to log in. So, unless your computer is company-owned, don't click the My Organization. Just click I own it. And then click Next. And then we're going to get into why use a Windows Live ID versus using a classic local ID. Now, back in the days of Windows XP, Windows Vista, and Windows 7, you just typed in a name, hit enter, maybe create a password, and you were the administrator on that computer. Now, this is still going to be the same thing. You're still going to be the administrator of the computer. If you want to create a local account, go ahead, but what are the benefits of starting up a Windows Live account? There's a lot there. One, if you have multiple devices that you use frequently, all your settings will transfer between them. Your wallpapers, as you'll see, the wallpapers that will start cycling in the background of this video are going to be the ones that I actually have running on my desktop right now. That'll sync. Your Wi-Fi passwords will sync. So, yet again, that goes back to that other setting we were just talking about. Also, if your Windows Live ID is also your Xbox ID, which it should be, then the Xbox Game app, which I'll show you real quick, will have all of your gamer tag info, your gamer score, your friends list. You can receive messages, you can add friends, you can buy games, you can send them to your consoles of choice. I think 360 supports it, I'm not sure, but I know Xbox One does. So you can click on a game on your computer, say install, and if your Xbox One is on, it'll start downloading right then and there. It's a lot like remote Steam access. If none of that entices you, don't worry about it. Just create a local account. But to access anything in the Windows Store, stuff like that, you're going to have to convert your account into a Windows Live account. And I'll actually do that process probably in a different video. But for now, I'm going to use mine, but if you want to create the local account, go ahead and click on create one, or skip the step, sorry. And then it's going to take you to this screen, which is more familiar to some of the classic users. Type in a username, enter a password, or don't, doesn't matter. Click next. I am going to enter my info so that my settings sync across. Yeah! And if you notice, that is a Gmail password. It's not a Windows Live. It's not an Outlook.com. It's mine. You can create a Windows Live ID with your own email address. So that way you don't have 100,000 different emails. It just gives you a login for Windows and Xbox and all other fun stuff. So if you have an Xbox Live account, use that info. Log in with that right now. The sign in is going to grab some info about me. And I'm going to set up a PIN because I'm going to have to restart once or twice. And this is a lot faster than typing in my password because my password is pretty verbose. I don't see the benefits of a PIN. They have a little tutorial that tells you what the benefits are. I just like typing 4 digits instead of 13 with a shift and a 0 and all those other fun things. Just a moment. Now this is Cortana. Cortana is a super beefed up version of Windows Search, and you can only use Cortana if you use your Windows Live ID. Why is that? Because it uses customized information based on that metadata to customize Cortana to your liking. So if you're constantly searching for movie times, or if you're constantly searching for a TV show of a certain type, it's going to continually return information relevant to that first before going into the general ideas. So like me, if I go and search for comic books, it might prioritize Marvel over DC because I'm a little bit more of a Marvel fan when it comes to news. If I go and search for movies, it might recommend different movies that I've been known to go to. Now, yet again, this is all dependent on you using Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, or Bing. You have to use Bing and be signed in with your Windows Live ID for it to be able to really learn off of that metadata. I'm not 100% sure if the search really builds off of your Google searches, because we're going to set up your default browser to be Google. But if you want to use Cortana, she's fun. She responds to voice commands, and it's actually really cool. So you can just be sitting there typing or surfing or playing a game and say, "Hey, Cortana," and she'll go, "Hey, what do you need?" And you just tell her. And she's got a really, really good speech recognition pattern. So even me, I'm a little when I talk sometimes. She learns how you talk. Creepy, weird, HAL 9000, who knows? I have fun with her. It's cool. If you don't want to use Cortana, click right down here at Not Now. Otherwise, you can click on Use Cortana over here. And boom. Oh, wrong scene. Bam. And that does it for the initial setup. So it's going to say, hey, we're getting a few things ready for you. And once it does, I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. It didn't want to pause for some reason. Alright, so now that my screen actually looks like a respectable computer screen, what do you want to do? Now you're at the desktop. What is the first thing that you do? Well, we're going to use Microsoft Edge. But James, you just said... Yeah, I know. But we've kind of got to use Edge, Internet Explorer to, get Chrome. That's the most important thing. Alright, so right here in the web address box, we're just going to type in chrome.google.com as soon as that other tab disappears. And we're going to press enter. Damn it. Alright, so now we get that fancy animation, and we're going to click download. This is really, really, really simple. Easiest part, Google makes it really simple to get everything installed and running. And down here at the bottom, you'll see this running security scan. This is where your run button is going to show up. Bam, right under the iPhone. Promise you it's running. Like I said, this is a slow machine. And then we can just close Edge. We don't need it anymore. On your marks. Yeah, I guess we can wait. I was going to pause it, but this doesn't take long. So once it's done downloading, it'll go right to install, and you'll have Chrome. Simple as that. There we go. Alrighty then. Speaking of syncing and features and all that other fun stuff, Google also has their own abilities to sync across multiple devices. One of the biggest advantages here is Chrome. If you want to see some of the new features in Chrome, they have a lot of videos on their webpage. This one right here will teach you how to make Chrome your default browser, which we're going to do real fast. I'm going to close this, close Chrome, and first thing I always do is right click on Google Chrome and then say pin to taskbar, that fourth or fifth option there. So now it's down here at the bottom of the screen, and then I am going to, oops, hold on just a second. Yeah, there we go. That's a whole lot better. And then I'm going to right click on the edge icon down here and unpin this program from the taskbar. We don't need it. Not going to use it anymore. Then we're going to open up Chrome again. However you want, desktop, start menu, whatever. And now Google has this yellow bar right here. We're going to go ahead and just set that as default because it's asking if you want it to be the default browser. And then you're going to just go down here to the blue icon where it says Microsoft Edge. Click that, and it's going to give you 3 options, or 4 if you count the look for the option in the App Store. And we're going to choose Google Chrome. Bam. Simple as that. Google Chrome is now our default browser, but we are not done yet. Remember when I mentioned you want to probably remove whatever trials are on there. Now I'm going to tell you to look for just a couple of things, and this is really all you have to worry about right out the gate. Remove McAfee, Norton, WebRoot, Kaspersky. I don't think they do trials with OEM PCs anymore, but if it is there, Kaspersky is probably the only one out of those I really recommend to buy. They're probably one of the best. Bitdefender comes on a lot of computers as well. They're still just trials. The biggest problem with the trials is a lot of the times they'll expire. They might give you a notification, but normally you ignore those. You walk away and say, screw it. Well, what happens is the program expires, and then you have no protection. They will not protect you for free. Windows is saying, "Hey, dude, I got your back." Bam, you have free built-in antivirus with Windows 8 and Windows 10. So one of the coolest features of Windows 10 that I love, and it was also in Windows 8, is you can right-click the Start button down here. And in the latest version of Windows 10, this will be black and gray, which is really kind of cool looking. But the general idea is the same. These are all your system command shortcuts and stuff. So you got your programs and features, power options, command prompt, control panel, quick access to everything that you would probably use, especially if you're a power user. If you're not, oh well, you can still use these features very well. So you're going to go to programs and features. And as you can see, I have 2 programs installed. One is the Link program for my computer to make my computer work really well with this virtual machine, and Google Chrome. So if you see McAfee or Norton or Kaspersky or Bitdefender or anything else in there, well, okay, just look for those. If not, ask somebody. Hell, shoot me a message. Ask me, hey, is it cool? Just click click on my profile. I don't even know how YouTube works anymore. So click on my profile, leave a comment below, whatever. Now, next step, go back to Chrome. And the first place that we are going to go is a little website called AdBlock Plus. This is an add-on for Google Chrome and Firefox as well. So if you're a Firefox fan and you're laughing at me for using Chrome, go ahead and go here as well. Adblockplus.org. Right there in the web address. See it? It's right there. Press enter. Install for Chrome. Big green button. Go ahead and hit that. Now I'm going to give you a little demonstration as to why I have you do this as soon as this has popped up. As you surf the web, you go to websites like download.com or anything like that, or cnet.com even, there's going to be a lot of fake links for you to click on that are going to generate a lot of people money and generate you a lot of headache and probably have you bring your computer to people like me to get it fixed for you. AdBlock is another layer of protection on top of your antivirus to make sure that doesn't happen. Is it a perfect stopgap? No. There's some education behind it, but it really helps to block a lot of the crazy stuff. So scroll down once this tab pops up, letting you know it's been installed, and go to malware blocking. Turn that on. It's kind of beta, but it works. If you want to remove all of the social media buttons from all the other web pages, this can also have kind of an impact on Facebook.com itself. Um, this is for websites like MLive or Huffington Post or anything like that that have the share icons at the bottom with the different social media buttons. They'll remove those from all the web pages. And you can also disable tracking. That's basically the anonymous data that websites gather about you and stuff like that to see how many times you visited and what other stuff you're into. It can also help cut down those annoying Facebook side ads that say, oh, well, you were just looking at a crib. Would you like to go buy a crib at this website? Because they're paying us more money to tell you about it. You can disable those. Eventually, those will start to fade out. They'll still show up, but they're going to be very generalized. I usually just do disable malware blocking because why not? And you can go ahead and click this little X right here. Close that. And now we're going to go to Google. But first, I'm going to left click on the stop sign. Ooh, and actually, we're going to go to Google first. We're going to go to google.com. So here's the familiar Google. I'm going to turn off ad block for now. So I'm going to left click and just click on enabled on this site. It's going to disable right there. And I'm also going to go to the options. So if I right click on the stop sign, take me to options. And I want to uncheck the allow some non-intrusive advertising. Now this is controversial in a few ways because it does take some money from some people, but it's a small amount of money, but if everybody started doing it, of course, they would go broke because a lot of the things online nowadays are generated by ad revenue. So I'm still going to uncheck it just because I don't like these annoying things, and it's going to make my presentation just a little bit better. And what I am going to do is I'm going to search for something. So let's search for something pretty specific, but still kind of generalized. So let's look for one of the biggest things people always downloads, iTunes. Press enter. And my search has failed. This is not exactly what I wanted. Alright, let's completely remove ad block just to make sure. Well, this is embarrassing. Huh. See, this is why I used. This is why I used Pirate Bay my last one. All right, this is the mark point. Go ahead and go back about 40 seconds or maybe a minute and erase this. Cool. All right, so now we've got Chrome and AdBlock installed. So we're going to go to a quite controversial site, but I'm going to use this for 100% and completely legit purposes. So leave your criticism below. I don't care. All right, we're going to go to the Pirate Bay. This is a really, really good example of how well AdBlock works, because this is going to work in just about everyday environments when you do Google searches, when you go to download.com, whatever. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disable AdBlock. I'm going to left click on the little icon here, and I'm going to click on enable on the site to make it disabled. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to search for the latest version of Linux, or a version of Linux. Let's go with Linux Mint. See, I already searched for it on a previous computer. And now, holy cow, I've got all of my options. They're all here, which is cool. So I can still grab these using my favorite torrent downloader, whatever. So if I want to go in here, oh man, these ads are terrible. They're just all over the place. Now, this is how this website generates money. So a lot of websites generate money is by slamming ads all over in your face. You see it on your phone a lot lately because more web searching is being done on your phone now as opposed to traditional ways through your desktop. So these can be pretty dangerous sometimes because these are going to try to track your information. So if I go here to Linux Mint, bam, immediately I'm met with a brand new pop-up, RussianBeautiesOnline.com. How you doing? So I'm going to close it. Cool, no harm, no foul. Click again, And that was kind of vulgar. But anyway, there's these ads everywhere, and they're really, really misleading. And these buttons right here, download, anonymous download, and this anonymous download link right here, those are going to take you to another advertiser's website. They're so prominent, so in your face, and they're grabbing your attention because, oh, well, that's how I download it. And it matches the color scheme of the website. So what do? You click it, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're infected with all kinds of freaking malware, right? Well, let's go back to the piratebay.com homepage, re-enable ad block, make the same search, bam, beautiful. I can click on anything, anywhere, click on Linux, bam, I get the product description, I get just the link for getting the torrent, which is now all handled by Magnet Links, which, totally different video, totally different explanation. There you go. Now you're essentially secure to the internet. There's a lot of other things you can do, VPNs, in private window browsing, all kinds of different tips and tricks and other things to get really secure. But now you're secure on Google Chrome. What about the antivirus, though? Well, remember when I told you to install your trial? It probably asked you to reboot your computer. When you rebooted, you might have gotten greeted with a pop-up. You might not have, actually. Otherwise, Windows silently took over. How do you make sure? Well, you click on the Start button, or click here on Search the Web, and then just type in Defender. You'll get two options I want you to check out. First, I want you to go to Windows Defender Settings. We're going to skip a middleman here. And, hey, real-time protection, turned on. Cloud-based protection, on. Sample submission, on. Cool. Now, my antivirus definition, I almost guarantee you, is out of date. So, now that I know I'm protected in real time, which I should have done before I went online, let that be a lesson to you. We're gonna type in Defender again, and this is the fastest way to find all your settings. You want to find out how to change your network settings, you want to change some other things, go for it. Just type it in, see what you want to find. And usually if it's under best match, it'll show you an app icon, whatever. Oh, wrong one. So we're going to open up Windows Defender. And my virus and spyware definitions were created 294 days ago. That's a little out of date. So, this is Windows Defender. This is your virus protection. This works pretty damn well. I love it. I'm going to click on Update, and then click the Update button. And boom. I'll close it. It'll update in the background. You'll be all good. And now, the last thing we're going to do is talk about our wonderful friend Cortana. We're going to click here in the search box, and we're going to let Cortana greet us as soon as she pops up. Hey, Cortana. There we go. Don't fight me, lady. We're on the internet. All right. And she should greet you with a little setup window. Ask you a few questions about personalization and stuff, but since I'm signed in, the only things I have to worry about are turning on and off certain features. Like I want to search online and web results. If you turn this off by clicking on this little cog over here, this will turn off internet searching for Cortana. She will only limit her searches. It would basically just be like the old Windows search of the past, except way better. And only search on your computer for files, applications, documents, stuff like that. I always leave it on because sometimes I like having web results. If I don't have a program installed and I type in Chrome, it would give me the web address for Chrome and click on that and it'll take me right to the Chrome website. This is where I like the ideas and reminders because if you use the calendar app and stuff like that, it's going to shoot you a reminder at the bottom right, or she might actually wake up and go, hey, you have this appointment tomorrow. So I like turning that on, and there's the setup wizard. And yes, I would like a personal assistant. So she can remind you different things. She can send emails for you. You can say, hey, Cortana, send an email. And it'll ask you, send an email to James. Don't even have to have the email address. As long as they're in your contact list, if you want to say first and last name, you say, hey, Cortana, send an email to James Seville, quote, blah, 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 sincerely, send. Boom, and she'll send it out. She'll find stuff on all your files. We already went over that. And she can even track your packages. Now, a lot of Android users are saying, yes, we've had that forever. Yeah, we have. Windows is finally taking a lot of pages from the desktop world, or from the handheld world, and then you can find your restaurants and movies and all that other fun stuff. So I'm going to click next, and I'm going to use Cortana. And then I'm going to have her call me James on this computer. And bam, we are all set. Now she's using my location to find out where I'm at. That's what this little circle icon is right here. That was down there at the bottom. She was basically just trying to locate me so that she's figuring out where my results are going to be coming from. And now, bam, Western Michigan, or Muskegon, Michigan, 32 degrees, all that other fun stuff. You can give her your home address, and then she'll ask for your work address, and she can give you traffic updates. Like my Google phone lets me know, hey, how long it's going to take me to get to work? 21 minutes or so. Top news in the area for Muskegon and worldwide. If I go back to, you notice the settings icon is gone now. If I go here to this little person icon, nope, that's not it. There's a way to turn on her voice search. Hey, Cortana. And I can't remember. And I don't think it's going to work on this computer anyway. Yeah. So that's about it. That's your computer set up. You're ready to go. You can search. You can go to YouTube. You can go to all kinds of other websites. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you have ideas of what you want me to show you, software, hardware, whatever, leave a comment down below. Share this with your friends. If you have a friend who just bought a computer and you liked this video and you think it would help them, send it to them. It's going to save you a lot of headache. It's going to save you a lot of time. I know there's 1,000,001 videos out there that are probably done way better. Oh well. Here I am. I'm your friend, the neighborhood Slevin, and I just want to help you out. That's it. So for now, like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends if you've stuck around this long, because I know I'm pretty long-winded. Anywho, have a good night. I'm out.